It's Suicide Prevention Week, and I'm sure by now everyone has heard this topic countless times.
Because of those countless times we have talked about it, many lives have been saved. Suicide is one of the leading causes of death for the ages 15 to 19. Because we all know people within this age range, this week encourages people to advocate for better mental health and to spread awareness of suicide itself. And in the next video, Ms. Murphy will be talking about the science and how you can do to help.
Suicide Awareness Week isn't just to make you aware that suicide exists. Unfortunately, we know it does. Suicide awareness is also to make you understand the support and help you can give someone in that time of need. Make yourself known as a helpline, so people who don't have that support, they have you.
Hi guys, I'm Miss Murphy, and I am here to continue the conversation that Liv and Bronson started in regards to Suicide Prevention Week. First and foremost, what's important for you as students to understand, prevention starts with being in tune with your friends and your peers. And if you feel something is off, if you have a concern, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're concerned about suicide for your friends, but anything is off. It's important that you trust your gut and go to a trusted adult here at school, a teacher, a counselor, or anyone that you can speak to, and have us connect with the student. Prevention starts before we get worried about actual suicide. In regards to suicide, in regards to needing to respond immediately, the things that you want to look for is if you have a friend who is usually an outgoing, engaged person who starts to withdraw, who stays at home, who withdraws from friendships, isn't responding to anyone, you want to be in tune with that. If all of a sudden someone starts giving away a prized possession, really important that you immediately reach out. If a student or a peer says something like, my life isn't worth living, or actually says, I want to kill myself, we need to take action immediately. If you notice that someone all of a sudden is engaged in drinking or consuming alcohol, engaged in drugs, to a point where it's excessive or not what you normally know for them to do, we need to seek help. If you're in a situation where you're with a peer and they say these things or they do these things, what's important for you is to stay with them and be a listening ear. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to say anything in response. The point is to stay there and connect with them. You can then, if you're in school, you need to physically walk them down to an adult or the counseling staff. Or if the student will not go with you, it is important that you immediately tell an adult, and the adult then goes down to a counseling staff. In any of those situations, we want to intervene. We don't want to hold that information. You are not responsible for figuring out how to support them in regards to having the answers, but you are responsible. If you have information and you are concerned, you need to share it with an adult. We have an awesome community of staff here, teachers, counselors, teaching assistants. It doesn't matter who it is, you need to tell an adult so that we can take action. There's 10 social emotional staff here, mental health counselors, an adjustment counselor, a school counselor. We can also help then too. Most important is that you share it with someone and you don't leave here without telling one of us so that we can then support the student. Every life matters, and we have the opportunity to intervene if we see something is off.
Young people face specific challenges in a time of transition, which oftentimes leads to experimentation with drugs and alcohol. Those who misuse substances in adolescence are more likely to continue this into adulthood. So it is important to address the reality of addiction head on. National Recovery Month, September, is a national observance held every year to promote and support new evidence-based treatment and recovery practices, the emergence of a strong and proud recovery community, and the dedication of service providers and community members across the nation who make recovery in all its forms possible.
So I'm sure most of you by now have figured out your Wednesday schedules, but if you haven't, I'm here to clear it up right now. So Wednesday, as you know, is called a half day. It means that we'll have all 5 periods, but they are shortened. So instead of 70 minutes, it's now 50 minutes. Every Wednesday, we'll have an advisory period, and it is after your second period class. It's from about 9:29 to 9:56. This period is time to build community within your small groups.
Our musical is just around the corner, and this year it's going to be The Drowsy Chaperone. Auditions are September 9th through the 14th, and you can find a link to the Sign Up Genius where you can sign up for your audition slot in the Monday memo or on the call board in the music hallway.
As I'm sure many of you do, eating lunch outside is a fun and refreshing way to eat lunch. But unfortunately, it has been getting very messy outside, and it would be great if you cleaned up after yourself. I'm sure everyone would love to keep eating outside.
As you all know, September 11th, a date that is widely known throughout history, is coming up this Saturday. About 20 years ago, a series of 4 terrorist attacks with intentions to cause major destruction crashed in the United States. The planes crashed in places such as the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, sending waves of fear and sadness across the country. 2,977 people were killed that day, and more than 6,000 were injured. The events of 9/11 impact people not just physically, but mentally to this day. While we are not in school on 9/11, it is important to take time to reflect and honor those we have lost. There will be an extended moment of silence on the announcements tomorrow morning.
We would like to send out a heartfelt thank you to the Mass Cultural Council and the Bedford High School Parents Association for funding that has generously provided BHS Now with a new camera, sound and mic equipment, and equipment that will allow us to shoot and edit with ease. We appreciate it, and we will be putting it all to good use. So from all of us, thank you.